Clint Eastwood then, Western icon, sharp eyes, rough charm. Now, gray-haired, wrinkled, but still with a strong charisma. Robert Redford then, the symbol of American beauty, golden hair, blue eyes. Now, a noble old man, in the image of a wise man. Jack Nicholson then, iconic psychotype, from The Shining to Profession, reporter. Now, hardly ever appears in public, but the charisma in his eyes remains. Al Pacino then, dark look, magnetism, The Godfather. Now, tired, with gray hair and beard, but his voice is recognizable. Robert De Niro then, strong, masculine type, taxi driver, raging bull. Now, a solid grandfather with kind eyes, but a sharp mind. Dustin Hoffman then, intellectual type, The Graduate, Rain Man. Now, soft image, smiling, with a quiet energy. Harrison Ford then, Indiana Jones, pilot of the Millennium Falcon, sex symbol. Now, wrinkled but in great shape, still filming. Michael Douglas back then, charming catcher, piercing gaze. Now, an elegant, gray-haired gentleman. Tommy Lee Jones then, stern look, sharp features. Now, wrinkled but still imposing. Donald Sutherland then, intelligent and sophisticated. Now, blonde hair, but his gaze remains tenacious. James Caan then, masculine type, The Godfather. In adulthood, serious, expressive face with age-appropriate charisma. Gene Hackman then, tough, authoritative. Now, retired, rarely appears in public, very old. Anthony Hopkins then, aristocratic type, intelligence. Now, noble, with a kind smile and a keen eye. Richard Gere then, romantic, sex symbol of the 90s. Now, still as attractive, but with gray hair and a wise look. Arnold Schwarzenegger then, mega muscles, car. Now, powerful grandpa, with charisma and humor. Samuel L. Jackson then, aggressive, charismatic. Now, same voice and style, but now a legend. Danny DeVito then, funny, charismatic midget comedian. Now, audience favorite, charming grandfather. Morgan Freeman then, wise, calm voice, deep roles. Now, voice remains the same, outwardly, a noble old age. Harvey Keitel then, tough, typical gangster image. Now, a solid old man with recognizable features. Mel Brooks then, king of parody, hilarious genius. Now, venerable grandfather, still giving humorous interviews. Ian McKellen then, theatrical, charismatic. Now, a magnetic old man, Gandalf forever. Warren Beatty then, icon of 60s and 70s male attractiveness. Now, solid, understated, rare appearances. Ed Harris then, a reserved, cold type. Now, bald, wrinkled, but with a strong charisma. William Shatner then, Captain Kirk, hero of science fiction. Now, a vivacious grandfather, active and public. Jon Voight then, handsome 70s drama actor. Now, dramatically aged, but with recognizable features. Rutger Hauer then, star of Blade Runner, Cold Stare. Before he left, aristocratic, gray-haired, still as deep. Richard Dreyfuss then, the romantic, the face of the 80s. Now, much changed, but recognizable. Brian Cox then, supporting actor. Now, made famous in The Heirs, solid, expressive. Jeff Bridges then, charismatic, handsome, The Big Lebowski. Now, white beard, warm energy. Malcolm McDowell then, cult anti-hero A Clockwork Orange. Now, theatrical appearance, expressive face. Michael Gambon then, character actor. Before he left, became the image of Albus Dumbledore, warm, wise. Albert Finney then, star of British movies. Old age, noble, serious, hardly ever filmed. Martin Sheen then, political hero and Charlie Sheen's father. Now, calm, reserved old man, still with the same voice. Joe Pesci then, small but explosive gangster. Now, faded into the shadows, graying but charismatic. John Cleese then, British humor genius, Monty Python. Now, tall, grey-haired, with his trademark facial expressions and irony. Michael Caine then, a British gentleman with his trademark accent and charm. Now, noble, thin, almost blind, but his voice is recognizable. Christopher Lloyd then, Doc from Back to the Future, disheveled, flamboyant. Now, still expressive, with the same frenzied stare. Jonathan Pryce then, an aristocrat with a deep gaze. Now, graying, thin features, still expressive. James Cromwell then, tall, intelligent supporting actor. Now, gray-haired, thin, the look of a sage. James Earl Jones then, the voice of Darth Vader, powerful and imposing. Now, hardly ever appears, but the voice remains a legend. Ben Kingsley then, charismatic, oriental-looking, Gandhi. Now, gray-haired, intelligent, austere style. Terence Stamp then, icon of the 60s, with magnetism. Now, still as elegant, but in a mentor persona. Michael York then, the classic British hero look. Now, much older, his face has changed, but his voice is recognizable. Chuck Norris then, action movie icon, mustachioed hero. Now, in good shape, much older. Sylvester Stallone then, pumped-up action hero. Now, sturdy, wrinkled, but in great shape. Elliot Gould then, charismatic, nosy funny man. Now, hardly ever filmed, completely gray-haired. John Lithgow then, versatile, from comedy to drama. Now, soft gaze, white hair, warm image. Hal Holbrook then, the image of Lincoln, a distinctive type. Later years, noble, with soft energy. Max von Sydow then, austere, mystical look, the seventh seal. Later, the image of a wise elder, noble features. Peter O'Toole back then, legendary looks, Lawrence of Arabia. Later years, noble, with deep eyes. George Segal then, smiling, company soul actor. Later, charismatic grandfather in comedy shows. Rip Torn then, tough character actor. Later, same tough look, but in comedic roles. Age has not erased their charisma. They are still inspiring, even though time has changed their faces. The real glory is not in youth, but in the mark you leave on the history of cinema.